My own take on this is, number one, there is no fire as to the Trump-Russia stuff. There's no evidence of collusion between Trump and Russia. There's not even evidence of collusion between Trump's campaign team and Russia at this point, and this is wildly overblown, obviously. Beyond that, if Trump did say to Comey, if you could see your way clear to dropping this, that'd be great. Does that necessarily constitute obstruction of justice? Not really, because Trump says lots of dumb things. I mean, Trump says lots of silly things all the time, and he's very casual in his language. And this is sort of the problem with Trump, is you don't know when to take him seriously and when not to take him seriously, which leads to narrative number two. And this is the narrative from the right. So the narrative from the left today is Trump obstructed justice, and now it's impeachable. Narrative from the right is this is all a witch hunt. There's nothing here. Everybody is out to get Trump, and this is all crazy towns. This is all part of a broader effort by the intelligence community to take down Trump. This is all part of a broader effort by the media to take down Trump. This is all part of a broader effort by the Democrats to take down Trump. And again, these two narratives are now at war with one another. So backing that narrative yesterday was H.R. McMaster, the National Security Advisor. He says that the people who leaked the story, another story from last week, that President Trump had given intelligence information, classified information to the Russians in this meeting just offhand, he said that the leak of that information is really what's dangerous, not Trump giving it to the Russians.
I think the real issue, and I think what I'd like to see really debated more, is that our national security has been put at risk by those violating confidentiality and those releasing information to the press that could be used connected with other information available to make American citizens and others more vulnerable.
People on the right are very upset with the leaks. People are saying that this is totally inappropriate because of the leaks. That's what's really dangerous here. It's the effort to get Trump that's dangerous from inside his own administration. It is not Trump himself who is dangerous, and this is all just a manufactured case against Trump. And there's a lot of truth to this, okay? Like, for example, on the Comey thing, if what Trump said to Comey was in fact obstruction of justice, why didn't Comey just quit? The most self-righteous man in America is James Comey. The most self-flattering man in America is James Comey, except for President Trump. Why wouldn't he just quit? Why wouldn't he walk out of the Oval Office and say to the press, guys, I had to leave because Trump clearly wants to obstruct justice on this Mike Flynn thing, and I can't be around to be part of that obstruction of justice? Why didn't he at least announce it? Why didn't he at least say anything? Right? This is the argument that's being made from the right. And there's a lot of truth to this. There's a lot of truth to this. So again, we have these dueling narratives. And we're going to talk in a second about which of the dueling narratives is more important, which one is right, and what the impact is going to be on politics for the next couple of years, because Republicans have a conundrum on their hands. Democrats can just keep campaigning against Trump, and Republicans have a conundrum on their hands. We'll talk about all of that. As part of the Trump is a victim of a hit that's out to get him, Tucker Carlson was pushing that last night. He says this whole Comey-Flynn bombshell is not really a bombshell. It's just another media hit job.
Be skeptical, says the retired Navy SEAL. Be quiet, screams the 33-year-old news anchor, clapping her hands in rage. How dare you question the authorities, in this case the news media? Quote, you cannot attack the stellar reporters of CNN, she says, as if this settles the debate. Now, a lot of cable panels have unfolded like this recently, and that is a shame because, as we noted earlier, the world is a very complicated place, Washington especially. What you think is happening often really isn't happening.
Okay, so again, I think there's some truth to this. The media are out to get Trump. There's no question that that's true. Dana Bash, right, who's on the left, she says the deep state is out to get Trump, and that's pretty clear from this New York Times report.
And if you just take a step back, Wolf, just in the past 24 hours, right or wrong, what this president has done in his first 100-plus days, even before he came into office, is pick fights with the intelligence community and now the law enforcement community, particularly the way, never mind that he fired James Comey, but the way in which he did it, not giving him the respect of actually telling him in person, or at least not having him find out from cable news. And so we know that this is, you know, they talk about the deep state. Well, these are communities that have a lot of loyalty within and know how to get back, even if you're the president of the United States.
And look how excited Dana Bash is about all this. And you can see that the pundits are just overjoyed with all of this, which is why the right reacts to the media by saying, you guys are totally full of crap. There's nothing here. Here's an entire montage of pundits just saying impeachment, 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 impeachment. They're obviously very excited about this story, and they want impeachment.
If these allegations, Senator, are true, are we getting closer and closer to the possibility of yet another impeachment process?
Reluctantly, Wolf, I have to say yes, simply because obstruction of justice is such a serious offense. And I say it with sadness.
We already nailed down the fact he fired the guy afterwards for not playing ball with him. There's a lot of evidence here. It seems to me it would take a reasonable person in the direction of perhaps wanting more information. But clearly we're on the trail there to an impeachment.
I think we're in impeachment territory now for the first time. Well, I think that the obstruction of justice was the number one charge against Nixon that brought him down. Obstruction of justice was the number one charge against Bill Clinton, which led to his indictment in the House. He won in the Senate. And I think I'm a lapsed lawyer. I cannot tell you whether it meets all the legal definitions, but I can tell you from a lay point of view, it looks like he was trying to impede the investigation. He was using his power to do that, and when James Comey didn't go along with him, when he wasn't his boy, he fired him, which I think is also relevant to the question of what he was trying to do.
You've got to identify and lay out for the American public everything that he has done, these firings, these obstruction of justice, et cetera, and in the final analysis, Maxine Waters was right. You got to impeach him. I know.
The entire Democratic Party. So that was Wolf Blitzer, Chris Matthews, David Gergen, and Maxine Waters, also Angus King, senator from Maine, all saying that we are growing close to impeachment. So does this sound like a produced narrative? Does this sound like everybody's on the same page in the Democratic Party? It does, and that's why there are people on the right who are saying this sounds like a conspiracy to take down President Trump. And there is truth to that. So I'm going to talk in a minute about what's true and what's false and where we stand in the Republican Party as far as Trump in just a second. But first, you're going to have to go over to dailywire.com and subscribe. For $8 a month, you can become a subscriber over at dailywire.com. If you get an annual subscription right now, then you get a free copy of Jeremy Boring's great border film. It's a modern Western set on the border of the Arroyo, all about a rancher trying to protect his land from drug cartels using it as a thoroughfare for drugs and human trafficking. Also, if you become a subscriber right now, then you're, number one, helping us out. We always appreciate it. It costs a lot of money to actually produce the show. But also, it makes certain that you can be a part of the mailbag in a couple of days. Well, tomorrow, actually, we're going to do the mailbag. We're going to start bringing you a Friday show as well, which is very exciting. So go over to dailywire.com to subscribe. Or if you just want to listen later, go over to iTunes or SoundCloud and subscribe there. Take a listen and leave us a rating. We always appreciate it. We are the largest conservative podcast in the nation.